My son and I are attempting to build our own wooden boat from scratch by the summer. In the last episode, we cut and fit all the floorboards, the grate, as well as the seats. In this episode, we're going to attempt to make progress by installing the subdecking. The subdecking is the first layer of plywood that attaches to the bow and goes along the sides and wraps over the seats and goes around to the back side, and it'll really give the boat its form. We thought we were going to be installing that about a week and a half ago, but we ran into some issues.
It looks like they're going to run into a couple of situations here.
A couple of situations?
I'm telling you, man.
The fabrication of the floorboards needed to be completed, so we flush cut the transom area with the track saw, as well as the battens that were sticking out proud. And then Cameron used the router to round over the hatch opening for the boards. Our stain and varnish finally arrived, so we were able to remove each one of the floorboards because we wanted to make sure we had them sealed on all four sides. We had planned on doing this later on in the build process, but we realized right before we started the subdecking that the seats were tied into the subdecking, which were tied to the floor. So if we wanted to remove the boards, the best time to do it was now. We took the time to number each one of the pieces, and we also laid them out on the bench as they were to be installed, because the last thing we want to do is figure that out again.
On top of Jason and Sedge coming to the shop this week, my papa also came, and it was really cool because he's been in the trades his whole life, and he's done just about everything you can imagine, but he's never built a boat, and so it was cool to show him the processes we've went through and let him check it out and get his seal of approval. While he was there, he decided to drop a little bit of information on us that apparently his dad built a boat whenever he was a kid, and it sounded like it was really close to this one. He said he skied all through his teenage years on it, and we're trying to find a picture of it right now. He said they do exist, so if we ever find them, / when we find them, we'll be sure to put it in a video.
We're using a classic mahogany stain color, and it's great for addressing the light mahogany colors and just giving it that natural color and giving a little more consistency between the boards. We waited about 24 hours, and then we installed the varnish coat, and on the varnish coat we cut it with brushing thinner by about 50%, and this let it get in the grain really nicely and basically just seals it up without being too much of a top coat. This process seals up the boards on all sides, and then after we install the floorboards in the future, we'll install up to 12 coats of varnish on the finished floor.
I gotta be honest with you. When I was looking at this on YouTube,
Yeah.
it looked way better.
Well, it looks like right in here, it looks like something like Drew Witt would do.
Yeah, absolutely.
You know?
Total amateur.
Yeah, I mean,
I'm definitely not going to ride in it once they put it
no,
on.
I don't even think it'll be seaworthy.
It won't be lake worthy.
Yeah.
Another problem that Cameron and I recognized when the floorboards were down is that there was an excessive amount of springiness towards the front and the center and right in front of the dash. So we added an extra support across the middle and then also across each side. Cameron took on this tedious task all by himself, and I'm proud of how it turned out. It took a lot of forming and fabricating and deciding how he was going to attach things, and it turned out really great. And after what seemed like a big step backwards, we feel like we're going forwards again now by reinstalling the boards. And this went fairly easy with the exception of the stainless steel screws love to snap. We started rubbing the screws on a bar of wax before inserting them, and it helped out a lot.
Once we got the floor back down, it was time to get the seats figured out. We had them roughly how we thought they were supposed to be, but we tweaked them a little bit, shaved some, faired it a little bit more to make it match the angle of the boat so it'll follow the top decking lines really well.
The finish on it and everything, it just
I
doesn't
think
look...
you're right.
Hey!
Yeah.
Hey, how are you? Looks
Hey,
great, man.
Cam.
Thanks.
Wow, you guys are master craftsmen on
you
this.
guys-
It's been a lot of time.
Really did a good job.
I
It's,
can-
it's really
yeah.
cool. So you're going to put something over the top of this, correct?
Yeah.
Hopefully,
It's gonna
yeah.
be beautiful.
Yeah, no, well, you guys are good. I like
job.
what you didn't do there. That's nice.
Yeah. It's nice. It's real nice. Damn it.
Welcome back to the shop. Today, we're gonna get the subdecking on the boat.
You may remember Cameron and I's long trip up to northern Ohio to get materials. And this is still the materials we picked up. This is Douglas fir 1/4 inch marine ply. And we cut it really close. I think we have 3 sheets to do the whole top, and we have some scraps. Our plan is to start with the top and just start tracing and getting these laid out roughly. We should be able to use this piece as a template for the next piece by just flipping it over and tracing it. So we're going to see if we flip this over, if it matches pretty much exact on the other side. If it doesn't, we've got issues.
Yeah.
He's on a stool. I'm on a ladder, a little bit better. We just had to get a good overhead view. Almost hit my head on the ceiling fan. But this is a nice sneak peek of what it looks like, and this is all rough cut. And of course, this is the sub layer. There's going to be the nice, pretty sapele strips on here
And this
and
will
border.
be down.
Yeah, so we have one full sheet left. We got to make this work. If not, we have to drive 400 or 500 miles to get another sheet. So what we're going to do is put this one across here and mark this, and then we have scraps that we can put to fill in this part from here to here. My daughter stopped in the shop with a friend to get a project sanded, and while she was there, she helped her brother out a little bit by holding down the material while he traced.
out so that there's nutrients.
Yeah. We still have the dash slid into the slots from the underside with the clamps, and we like to keep it that way for now and not permanently attached because it's going to be easier to put in the gauge clusters. But we forgot when we started hammering. I remembered right before it was too late, but no big deal. We're using 1-inch bronze ring shank nails, and primarily we're doing that because that's what the plans called for. I very rarely use nails for anything. I prefer screws in most cases. And I also question every 2 inches, but that's what the plans state, and that's what we're going to do. We do think that it helps to conform the plywood down, so we made sure that we worked from one side and worked our way over so we didn't create any raised points or pinch points. Pre-drilling the plywood slightly smaller than the diameter of the nails really helped a lot with getting them laid out and put in without beating the boat to death. Well, it took us about 5 hours today, but we were able to finally get the subdecking down, and that's been something we've been trying to do now for nearly 2 weeks.
Along every single board on the top, every 2 inches is a nail, so my wrist is tired. Hundreds of nails.
The next step will be to fair everything down, but we're going to leave this lip on the outside because I think it's going to come in handy as a clamping point when we start putting our pretty sapele finished boards up on the top, and I look forward to that happening. But thanks for watching. Be sure to check out the next video coming soon.
Meow. That was bad meow. Meow. That's better.